Well, the government shut down on day 23. Thousands of government workers are furloughed. The ones considered essential have to show up for work regardless, but they still don't get a paycheck until the government reopens. And there doesn't seem to be any idea of when that could happen. There are some proposals from lawmakers who want to figure out a way to pay these essential workers now, including air traffic controllers, the folks who are in charge of landing the planes safely every day at airports all across the country. Indiana Congressman Andre Carson has put forward the Aviation Funding Stability Act of 2025. It would allow air traffic controllers to start getting paid again, even if the shutdown continues. So here's how this proposal would work from Carson and his colleague, Democratic Congressman Steve Cohen from Tennessee. The FAA would take money from its Airports and Airways Trust Fund. That's a dedicated fund used by the FAA. The money in it comes from the taxes on plane tickets, frequent flyer miles, and airline fuel, just to name a few of its sources. Congressman Carson sits on the Transportation Committee, and he's a senior member on the Aviation Subcommittee. Carson called this a negotiation chip and said he doesn't expect Speaker Johnson to call the House back into session for this, but he called the Transportation Committee one of the most bipartisan in Congress. He says there's a lot of contention right now in the midst of both parties, and he says he's looking at this as a way to reach across the aisle to address this issue head on. Carson's isn't the only measure out there. Indiana Republican Senator Todd Young co-sponsored the Shutdown Fairness Act. It would provide funding to pay essential workers, including air traffic controllers and the military. Senator Young issued a statement about it, which said in part, the Shutdown Fairness Act would make sure these hardworking Americans are paid on time for the work they perform, just as they deserve. But we know today the Senate voted earlier and this act didn't pass. That's because it didn't get the 60 votes needed. That would have required support from some Senate Democrats, and this act would only have paid essential federal workers and military personnel during the shutdown. Democrats were pushing for a different bill to pay all furloughed federal employees, not just the ones considered to be essential.